Vergiss nicht, A Christmas Story Part 2. Time will pass for many of us, and each of our Christmases will change with the times as we slowly pass on our special family traditions. One I have decided to pass on to you and to my family each year, one that I learned from a Jewish boy named Alex and a little German girl as we sit around a very warm fire eating pomegranates as they told me a strange yet wonderful story. Did I mention there was a wolf named Hades? Probably not. If I learned anything from the wise too, it was that stories, ones that were meant to be told as people went to bed, should have little traps for the reader, one that they may dream about in the coming nights. It's like little invisible Christmas presents left under a tree, or that strange one, with the torn wrapping paper that is only addressed to you. So as we travel back in time to that winter night, my car had blown a hose right in front of a small cabin located in the hills of Maine. This was the unorganized counties, the place where you go to get lost and to where there is no law. There are life, love, and this place, and when it snowed it was God's winter, but as luck had it there was a cabin. So in hopes of help, I made my way through the falling snow to their door. I wasn't greeted by a man, but a wolf, a large black wolf, and then a boy maybe 15 or 20. It was hard to tell, he looked young but had the oldest eyes of any person that I have ever met other than the girl I was about to. The wolf leaped and pinned me down into the freshly falling snow. Mouth open, I heard the sounds of hell and protection from his dark place. When his eyes met mine, I knew this was my last night in this rotten place and world, but I came to learn I was wrong when I heard a girl's voice scream Hades. He quickly ran to the voice and a hand of the boy helped me up. "What brings you to our home, mister?" I pointed to my car and said, "Life." At this point I expected the two to send me on my way, but they didn't. In fact, they asked me to come in and have coffee. I quickly knocked off the snow and grabbed my bag and followed them inside. I placed my bag on the floor and took my coat off, placing it near the fire to dry, and then found myself sipping coffee and eating pomegranates on a feather-down couch that had been patched one too many times. The girl sat across from me and Alex to my left. The dog curled up like a snake at her feet, watching me with one eye open. The two had learned English very well, it wasn't broken with slang or infected by TV. The house was full of little items, including a TV. Much of it was from the 40s and 60s. Pictures were here and there, some of them much older than the rest, and in each none aging more than a day. Before they could ask why I was in this place, I found myself asking the question, when did they move out here and why? "Careful as the bunny who jumps," the boy said. A rather confused expression passed over my face. The girl quickly opened her mouth before I could open mine. "Excuse Alex, he has been my constant protector and he is a fan of Watership Down. I guess in a way he fears the traps of the new world." And then she told me a story, one I would never forget. One of magic, the occult, and rare sickness with a dose of German sprinkled on top. Standing up, she walked over to a glass cabinet and showed me a very old German doll. "You see, me and this doll are the same, that is, our souls are tied to each. As she ages so do I, and somehow the magic has rubbed off on Alex. I'm tired of being young, but I don't want to die. For some time, that's all I wanted, and Alex would save me from the things that would come to collect on Christmas night. But as Alex and I moved through this time and as the world grew old, we too grew in love." And then she looked up at me and said, "Have you heard the story of Persephone and her marriage to Hades, the god of the underworld? In a way we share a bond. I run from an evil marriage with time." I said, "No, I haven't." Passing a pomegranate to me, she said, "In ancient Greek mythology, the pomegranate features prominently in the story of Persephone and her marriage to Hades, the god of the underworld. Hades kidnapped Persephone and took her to the underworld to be his wife. Persephone's mother, Demeter, goddess of fertility, considering her daughter lost, went into mourning, and thus all things on earth ceased to grow. Zeus, Persephone's father, commanded his brother Hades to release her. However, Hades had tricked her into eating 6 pomegranate seeds, and it was the rule of the fates that anyone who consumed food or drink in the underworld was doomed to spend eternity there. Since Persephone had eaten the 6 pomegranate seeds, she had to remain in the underworld for 6 months of the year. Hades agreed to release her to the world above for the other 6 months of the year, to be reunited with her mother. This is how the ancient Greeks explained the cycle of the seasons. When Persephone was with her mother, the earth flourished and the crops grew, spring and summer. When she returned to Hades, Demeter mourned and the earth was infertile, autumn and winter. As a consequence, pomegranates were often offered to the goddess Demeter in prayer for fertile land. Somehow someway, an evil German creature, ones you would call Nazis, blended magic and science together. I, like Persephone, are trapped in our own hells. I took another sip of coffee. Alex was now cleaning a shotgun. I can assure you, along with this story and his alertness, made me worry. So I asked what happens at Christmas. Alex now loaded the shotgun and said, they come back, they come to collect her. She then cut him off saying, we really don't know, whatever they are they're old, older than time itself. The doctor that did this to me, stole from them. Much like the cycle of the seasons, they come and beat on the door, over and over. This is why we are here, because your world, the new world, can't handle this, and I fear they would use them against us. So I stayed and took up arms with the children. I fought alongside the boy and the wolf, against things I will talk about at another time. But I too grew old, when they only grew days each year. I learned more from them than life could ever teach me. I learned to eat pomegranates and to look at Christmas a little differently. Dear readers, I can assure you their story has just begun for you. As you open presents, children that only wish to grow old battle evil, slimy creatures that live in the soils of Maine.